Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm flocking happy that you're here and a happy flocking Mother's Day to all my UK geese out there. Thank you for all that you do being wonderful moms. I just am excited to celebrate you all today. Guys, I am so excited for this episode. I just wrapped it up in real time. I recorded with Chef Matt, friend of the show. We love Chef Matt. He's back. Meghan just posted on her Instagram a really weird dessert and, of course, trying to make UK Mother's Day about herself. What else is new? And so I wanted to get into that with you all. And I really, I'm excited for you to see it. So with Chef Matt, he really does a great job breaking down the dessert. What I wanted to do first was just talk about the caption itself because I didn't think I wanted to use Chef Matt's talents to talk about it's weird about family, right? So instead, you'll hear him breaking down the desserts with me, which is coming up very soon. But first, I want to get into the caption itself. And again, wish my geese out there celebrating with your goslings the happiest of Mother's Day. I hope you're having the best day. And anyway, I'm glad you're here and I'm excited to get into this. So Meghan posted on her Instagram. You'll hear me get into this with Chef Matt in just a minute. She posted on her Instagram. Let me see if I've got it right here. There you go. This. Okay. And you'll hear me go over this, but I just wanted to talk about briefly. So here's the dessert, which we'll break down in detail. You know, Chef Matt's going to have a lot to say about this. But the post itself is this lemon dessert. And then here is the comment underneath. Our family tradition, Mothering Sunday in the UK with a lemon. Okay. The part again, I just wanted to hit this briefly because we do go into it a little bit, but again, Chef Matt mainly we talk about the dessert itself and what all went wrong and how this is weird and all. We get into a lot of it, but there's several things in my opinion going on here. Of course, we always have a post from the Princess of Wales. We had one from Kensington Royal. This one was a little bit different at the time of this recording. I didn't see any of the kids. I was a little disappointed. I was hoping to see the kids, but it was still a lovely post. It was a video celebrating Mother Earth. And we got some beautiful nature scenes, but I was really hoping to see the babies. Anyway, but I digress. But they did a lovely post. And as per usual, Meghan has to try to steal attention. It's what she does. So she posted this horrible dessert, which we will go over. But then with this caption, I just couldn't stop laughing. I was like, family tradition? What family are we talking about? You're estranged from both sides of the family. So whose family? And are we talking about their family? Because it's not like they've been married for decades. So can you call it a tradition if you're only a couple of years in? I don't know. And if you're, maybe possibly potentially allegedly soon to be out, like, is that a family tradition? I just find it so odd. So I'm stuck on that. And then the Mothering Sunday, you'll hear me talk to Chef Matt about this a little bit because Chef Matt, out of the UK. And so I asked him, is that a thing? Is that how you guys say that? I wasn't aware. And he said, yeah, that's what we call it. But for her to say it like that is very much on purpose. Again, what does she have to do with Mothering Sunday? Nothing. What does she have to do with mothering? One could argue nothing, but I'm saying, like, well, again, to quote John Witherspoon, who I'm working with, I want to talk about that. Actually, I'm glad I mentioned him. John Witherspoon is going to be on my show. I'm going to plan to do a live tomorrow on Monday. He's planning to be there. He has other stuff going on, but if he can make it in time and it works out, John Witherspoon will be on my live for at least part of it to answer our Scentabale questions. He and I are going to talk through some more of the stuff since the amazing interview with Dr. Sophie. So John had a lot of interesting thoughts, and I'm excited to have him on the show. He'll come break it down with me on the live chat. That's tomorrow. That's Monday. That's when I'm tentatively planning it. If something changes, I'll let you know, but it's supposed to be Monday. Let's say I'll probably start around 4 p.m. Eastern, which I know you guys in the UK just went through your time change. So that'd be 9 p.m. for you guys in the UK. It'd be 1 p.m. if you're on the West Coast of America. But again, let's do 4 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. That's tentatively when I'll plan it. And then John will be on a little bit later and he'll talk Scentabale if his timing works out and if he's able to make it. But regardless, so plan for that on Monday. Okay, sorry. But I bring up John because we were talking about just the nonsense, and he was bringing up again, he had such a good point about why Meghan doesn't have any ties to the UK in terms of herself. She clearly has a problem with the UK, obviously. Why is she tying herself with Mothering Sunday? That's exactly my question as well. I can't make sense of it. The only thing I can think is it's just another way to play look at me. And of course, bigger picture, we have the whole Sintobali thing. It's not going well from them at all. Understandably so. Dr. Sophie did a great job. I did a whole video breakdown where I stayed up and I watched and I talk about that. So go watch my breakdown of that. But and thank you for everybody who's left comments. I really appreciate that. But to me, it's just another distraction. I think it serves several things. She's trying to distract from that, the negative publicity they are rightly so receiving over that. And then it's just a look at me attempt. And then again, tying it back to the Netflix, we love Meghan and these lemons. And can you imagine making your whole personality beige and lemons? And I should have said this in the recording. It's just hit me. You'll hear Chef Matt and I go in detail about this horrible, horrible dessert she made. Let me show you a close-up of one thing right here. The crust is supposed to be beige. The one time where you want it to be beige, right? It's not. It's burnt to a crisp. It's scalded. It's boiled, whatever you want to call it. It's terrible. You'll hear Chef Matt break it down way more articulately than I can. But anyway, the one time that she's supposed to hit beige, she can't hit it. Anyway, that's kind of funny. But so we're going to get into this. Thank you guys so much for being here. Now, again, welcome to Chef Matt and join me for the live stream on Monday. This will probably go up Sunday night. So if you're watching this Sunday night, it'll be Monday. If you're watching this Monday, it'll be tonight. Again, I'll plan for 4 p.m. Eastern to start it. And then when John is able to make it, he'll join us and we'll talk Sintobale and whatever else you guys want to talk about. I'll see what else is in the news and what else is going on. And if any more information has come out. I feel like Megan's going to be frenzy posting leading up to that, so get ready. But in the meantime, Chef Matt is here, and I've had to bump Chef Matt a couple of times. He goes into the waffles. I'm so excited for you guys to see that. So in the next couple of days, you'll see our waffle episode, and you'll hear in this recording he's agreed to come back and go over the terrible cooking that's presented in the Drew Barrymore show. I'm excited to get into that with Chef Matt. He's wonderful. He's a treat. Let's welcome Chef Matt. If you will, he doesn't have social media. Do leave him comments here because we're able to get him the comments. And so I know it makes him, it makes me feel good. You guys are so wonderful to him. And I know it makes him feel good. So if you'll leave him your comments and your thoughts, and if you have questions or anything, or it's something you'd like us to review, if there's a cooking thing you'd like us to review, let me know. Thank you guys so much for being here. Now let's get into this. Guys, welcome back to RHR. Jen, I'm so glad you're here and you can see the happy face already. Guys, I have a special treat here with me today to talk about UK Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, my UK geese. And to talk about whatever's going on over at Meghan's. Hello, Chef Matt. How are you?
Hi, Jen. Happy Mother's Day from England.
Thank you. Yeah, ours is in May, but happy Mother's Day to your wife and the people you in your life. Happy Mother's Day to England. How are you?
I'm all right. I've had a very, very busy day at work today.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's true. I'm sure. Did you have a special today or anything like that? Something that happens on Mother's Day?
Yeah, I ran a special menu alongside the normal menu. It went down really well. Everybody's feedback was very positive.
Good. Did it include a shitty lemon dessert?
It didn't. No.
Oh, I bet you're kicking yourself over that one.
I've seen the pictures, and I think I'm all right.
That's right.
I think what I did was pretty good, you know.
That's right. Well, we'll get into that. As in case somebody's new here, again, I'm Jen. This is Chef Matt. Chef Matt is a very talented and wonderful chef who occasionally comes on the program, and we'll talk through some of Meghan's cooking and recipes and things like that. He likes to remain private, so we're going to let him do that. Normally I ask a guest how we can support you on social media. We're not doing that, but we are encouraging you to start your own channel. So hopefully that'll be something you'll consider in the future.
I'm trying to think. I've been thinking every now and again, like I get like a really funny little idea of what I could call my channel.
Oh, good. Hey, listen, the first step is thinking about it like that. That's good. That's good. Well, yay. Well, if I can help in any way, I'm here and I look forward to that. And I know the whole flock will flock behind you. So
the problem is all of my thoughts are just really sarcastic.
Oh, hello. Have you met me? I have a whole channel based on that.
I think the last one I had was Bodget and Scarpa's for the
Oh, I think
professionals.
that's fantastic. That's great. Well, we'll support it no matter what it's called. That's fantastic. So I do feel the need to say I owe you an apology. I keep bumping you. What I mean is you did this fantastic recording with me that I can't wait to put up, which will be up in just a matter of days. But these idiots keep doing idiotic stuff, so it keeps getting bumped. But I am going to post that where you went over the green waffles. I can't wait for people to see that.
It's all right. I
Yeah.
really enjoy talking to you. So like whenever whenever you get the opportunity to do it, I'm absolutely fine with it.
Thank you. The feeling is mutual and we love having you on. So the reason I've drug you out today, away from your family, away from the celebrating, is to look at this, whatever's going on here. So guys, in case you missed it, Meghan posted on her Instagram for Mother's Day in the UK. We'll talk about that because that's weird in and of itself. But while I've got Chef Matt here, I thought maybe if he felt like it, we could look at the dessert and talk about what is happening. Chef Matt, I mean, you go. You're better at this than me. Tell me what we're looking at here, what you think is happening.
Right. So I think this is a classic French lemon tart.
Okay. Which is my nickname in high school. Gotcha. Uh-huh.
Very. I bet the boys used to love you.
Yeah. Bonjour. But no, go. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Uh-huh.
So from a French lemon tart point of view,
Uh-huh.
we want to be making a really good sweet pastry. We want to line a mold, and
Okay.
then we'd generally bake it blind. So we might put some greaseproof paper, and we might put some baking beans in there, or we might use rice or dried peas. We'd
Okay.
bake it at quite a low temperature because we don't want any color on that pastry.
Okay.
But what all we're looking to do is we're not fully baking it. We're looking to firm it up so that it can stand that liquid that's going in there. The lemon filling, very very simple to make. It's cream, sugar, lemon juice, lemon zest, and then we put some egg yolks in. We just whisk it up, and then we'd pour the lemon into the mold, and then we'd rebake it. The way that this has been done and the way it's been executed, like if you look around the edges, we've got a lot of scalding, we've got a lot of burn around the pastry. It looks
Uh-huh.
very dry, it looks very dense. I can't decide from just seeing the picture
Mm-hmm.
whether that is the pastry that's burnt or that's the filling that's cascaded over onto the lip of the pastry, and then it's the filling that's caught.
I have a close up that I meant to. I apologize. I should have had it ready to go. I can send it right now and we can look at it. It might help you see it a little more clearly if you give me just 1 second. And while I'm doing that, talk to me about what's going on with the lemons all over it. I assume it's for aesthetic reasons, but I just see that and it looks
They just
not.
don't look good, do they?
No.
They look like there's bits missing out of them. I can't. I don't know whether these lemons they've almost been poached or they've been semi-cooked or she's put them in some sort of a sugar water
Yeah.
just to soften them slightly, but she's not done it properly. So what's happened is the lemons have started to cook through, but the actual pith of the lemon it's dissipated and it's gone somewhere, but it's not on the picture that we're looking at, which means that she's either baked them through the oven slightly with a little bit
Uh-huh.
of sugar over them, and we've lost them as we pick them back up, or we put them in some sort of a sugar solution and we've boiled them. But as we've boiled them, there's so many bits that are missing, and then all you're left with is this horrible pith and this white that is virtually nobody wants that.
You're exactly right. It looks like you've collected people's lemons off their plates from water glasses or something. I don't
That's
know. And
that's exactly it. They're just not pretty. But if you
yeah.
was going to do something, and you was going to do something on social media, even if your intention was, I'm going to decorate it with lemon, and I'm
Mhm.
going to do the lemon in this way. If they look like that, there's got to be a part of your soul that says maybe I'm not going to use these.
That's exactly my constant criticism there is that I don't understand. Uh, I don't pretend like I can cook. So maybe I would post, I don't think I would post this, but you know what I mean? Something like this. But if you have any kind of skill or selling that you have some sort of skill at this is not it. I can't make sense of it. But I did pull up, if you'd like to see it, the other picture. Here you go, up close. Can
Yeah,
you
there you go.
tell?
Look.
Yeah, what's
So
going on?
so I do make a French lemon tart every now and again. I'll put a French lemon tart on the menu.
Okay.
There's through practice and through knowledge and through experience. There's little tricks that you learn across the way. So whenever I do anything like this, I would bake the pastry blind. I would take that pastry out of the oven. I would let that pastry cool down to a room temperature. Then I'd put that pastry back into the oven on its tray, and I would take the liquid and I would pour the liquid whilst that tart was in the oven with the
Mm-hmm.
door open. I would just pull the rack out a little bit and start to pour it in. And I think that stops what we're seeing right now, because
Okay.
it looks to me like we've taken it out of the oven, we've put the filling in on the countertop, and then we've
Mhm.
picked up the tray and
Right.
tried to walk to the oven to put it inside. And as we've
Uh-huh.
walked, that liquid, it's just splashed up over the sides,
Mm-hmm. And
which has
then hence
caused, so
scalding or something.
exactly, it's caused this scalding. And
Mhm.
when you think about it, because you're looking at cream, lemon, sugar, and egg, it's
Mhm.
a very loose, thin liquid. But as soon as that door's been closed and that temperature's gone up to the
Uh-huh.
desired temperature to cook it, you,
Uh-huh.
this egg and cream, it's just burnt. But
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it doesn't look
I'll be
appetizing at all.
I'll
Uh-huh.
be I'll be completely honest. Every
Yeah.
now and again, doing the job that I do, it does
Uh-huh.
happen. But
Sure.
what we would do is we would very carefully cover up the top of that tart with a sheet of greaseproof paper in exactly the same circle size as it,
Mhm.
and then we'd get a very very sharp knife, and we'd
Uh-huh.
just go around it and clean that top up so you
Sure.
don't get that mess.
You're exactly right. And I just can't understand for the life of me why she wouldn't twist the plate a little bit to take this weird picture if she was hell bent on taking the picture.
I just think
Why include that? Uh-huh.
because I don't get a lot of things that she does, and it's like
Yeah.
you can see that she's putting all this effort in, and she's posting these things on a regular basis,
Mhm.
but it's like she's never made them before. So it's very easy for any one of us, any of your flockers,
Uh-huh.
to get a cookbook, open it up, and go, today I'm gonna make this.
Mhm.
And you go and get the ingredients and you make it, but you can see that there's no real care. You know,
You're exactly right.
you're following a recipe. You're following a
Yeah.
recipe, and that's it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's it. There's
Because it
no
if it
caretaking. Uh-huh.
if it was genuinely about learning and the process, we
Uh-huh.
all know that there's so much things out there, whether
Uh-huh.
it's on YouTube or you Google it, and the amount of knowledge that you can learn just by watching a couple of YouTube videos on a classic French lemon tart, and you would have probably stopped a lot of what we're looking at right now.
Yeah. And then talk to me about again, you're the expert here, but the look between those the two main lemons on the screen to the right. It just am I seeing it right? Is it overcooked? Does it look like
It's almost started to scramble at this point. All of
That's what I
can
wondered.
can
Yeah.
you can
Uh-huh.
you see can you see all around the outside of
Uh-huh.
the tart? You can see all these little air pockets, and
Yes.
all these little blisters that have come up to the surface, and they've exploded and they've set, and you're left with all these craters. And then if you just look in between those two lemons, it's almost started to crack. So
Yeah.
they're telltale signs that there's two things that could be happening here. There's
Okay.
one, it's been in the oven too long,
Uh-huh.
or it's been in the oven for the right amount of time, but the temperature of the oven isn't correct.
Okay. Like it was too hot, you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Huh. Yeah. Again, if I notice these things, I understand why you would see things like this. I shouldn't notice things like this, and I do, and it bugs me.
It,
And
it
I'm not a cook, you know. I'm not a chef.
from a chef's point of view, like some of
Uh,
the things that you sent me, it's almost like watching a horror movie. And
I'm-
but it's worse for me from a professional point of view
oh,
when we just have still images, because still images are so difficult to read, aren't they? You know,
yeah,
if you can watch somebody make something
yeah.
straight away, you know where they've gone wrong. But in this instance, when it's only a still image, I
Uh-huh.
mean, look at it. It's
Yeah.
so bad. It's so bad.
It's so bad. That's yeah. I just can't understand why somebody would post this. I understand that things exactly to your point, we all make mistakes. I'm not even like criticizing that, but then I would not post it.
This screams. Do you remember the quiche? The
Yes.
quiche
Oh,
scenario.
how could I forget the
So
poisoning? Yeah.
so this screams the quiche, doesn't it? Because you look and you go, there were so
Mm.
many elements of that quiche that was so bad.
Yes. And if people forgot, it was apologies, Chef Matt. I made Chef Matt and his family watch With Love Megan. And on the quiche episode, it came out runny. And I just went, no, I don't know cooking, but I know that's not right. And I think I was frantically texting you guys saying, oh no, that's not good. And she,
No,
instead of correcting it, saying, hey, if that happens, here's how you fix it, or here's what you do. It was, I like it runny.
I like it runny.
Oh,
What
yeah.
was that?
Which is your tattoo, right, Chef Matt? That's what you have tattooed somewhere on you?
I've
Yeah.
got that across my chest.
Perfect. Okay. French
But
tart approves.
it was the fact that when it came out of the oven, it was stone cold. But
Yes.
they treat it like it was screaming hot. And
Uh-huh.
we all know, if we make a quiche, or if we put anything in the oven, when you open the oven door, there's normally a little bit of steam that comes out, or you can see the heat. And
That's right.
but you saw nothing like that. And then this stone cold quiche came out of the oven. And if a quiche had just come out of the oven, it'd almost be rippling with the heat.
Mhm.
And you'd have this beautiful ripple, and
Yeah.
you'd be able to see the steam. But then it was like, oh, at this stage, I'm normally really worried that it's not going to be cooked all the way through. And then they're sliced into it. I love it, Ruddy.
But again, that's the perfect opportunity. That's a real moment. She's looking for these moments. That's a real moment to say, okay, this happens. Here's what you do. Because that's the part I would actually like to know. I don't know this stuff. Can I just shove it back in the oven, or is it ruined? You know, that kind of thing. Nope. I like it runny.
I like it, Runny.
So,
But
going back to this, oh, please go ahead. What were you saying? Uh-huh.
it makes you wonder if, because of the fiasco that happened with the quiche, whether
Mhm.
because a quiche mix and a lemon tart mix are very similar. So we're talking about, they've both got cream in, they've both got
Yeah.
eggs in, and
Uh-huh.
they're the setting agent. That's the mass. So the lemon is the flavor, the sugar
Mhm.
is the sweetener, and you look and you go, because of the quiche scenario that we went through, maybe in Meghan's brain, she
Uh-huh.
decided, I'm going to give it another 10 minutes.
Maybe like overcorrecting or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
But
And
uh-huh.
then we've got overcooked filling, then we've got burnt pastry, and you look and
Maybe.
you go, you could almost, like, we've done this quiche thing, and then through the worry and embarrassment of saying, well, we kind of blagged that quiche one, right? Well, you can't blag a lemon tart. If you slice into a lemon tart and it's runny, there's no blagging. We're just calling that fucked. We're just
Yeah.
throwing that in the bin. And so we've probably just thought, just to be
Uh-huh.
safe, I'm going to give this another 10 minutes, because
Yeah.
I can't serve this runny. No one's going to believe that I like runny lemon tart.
Ye Nobody's gonna believe that I like burnt to a crisp lemon tart either, though.
No.
I just can't make sense of it. And then I did bring a close up. Talk to me about what you think is going on there. What am I looking at there with the red?
This gives me nightmares, this bit, because this was really popular in the 90s.
Okay.
It came out like, I don't know, like in the 80s,
Uh-huh.
and then like throughout the 90s. I mean, you must have seen it 100
Mhm.
times, but most people did this with, like, do you remember they used to do this with radishes?
I do. Yes,
So
radish
so
roses.
like
Yep, I do.
radish rose is a really
Mhm.
good one. So you look and you go, it's very firm.
Mhm.
It's got a very solid base, hasn't it?
Mhm.
So you turn it with a paring knife, and then you submerge it for about 45 minutes in ice cold water, and then it'd almost blossom, wouldn't it? And
Uh-huh.
it'd change its shape because the ice water had shocked it.
Mhm.
So it'd all sort of open out, and it'd look absolutely amazing. But it was a
Mhm.
very old-fashioned trend that you used to see on like buffets when you went to your friend's birthday party. They'd be scattered all over the sandwiches, didn't there?
That's
but
exactly
but
it. You're
but
right.
I
Yes.
I don't think I've ever in my life seen anybody try and do it with a strawberry. and then you look
No.
and you look and it's just mushy. Yeah,
It's
like
just
the
mushy. Yeah.
the texture of a strawberry is so soft, and the water content of a strawberry is so
Mhm.
dense, and that's not the fruit. You wouldn't choose to do that with a fruit. When
Uh-huh.
when you're talking about a berry
Uh-huh.
is a berry, and I don't mess around with things like that. Like nat- nature and the wonderful yield that we get from nature. It's
Mhm.
absolutely glorious, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you almost want it to be what it was grown to be. So I don't play around with them.
Mhm.
Like, you just use them sparingly, use them at the right time of year, use them when they're in season,
Mhm.
and they're glorious. And then we've got this, and you just go, why have you done that? like, even if you'd have got rid of all of those strawberries,
Mhm.
all of that mint, all of those lemons, if you'd have done it properly, it stands alone as a beautiful masterpiece.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It doesn't add anything to the dish. It makes me more confused.
When I
Oh,
do this in the job that I've got,
uh-huh.
I'll occasionally make these, and what I like to do, I'll slice it. So a tart like this,
Mhm.
from the looks of it, I'd probably be looking to get anywhere between 12 and 16 portions out
Okay.
of something like that. And then what I would do from a service point of view is I would just dredge the top of it with icing sugar, and then I'd get a blowtorch and I'd almost brulee the top.
Okay.
So you get this golden brown top, you get this silky smooth filling, and then you get this really rich pastry. And I just think it doesn't need anything. Like,
Yeah.
with things like that, simplicity is best.
Absolutely. Yeah, you kinda touched on that before. I think let your skills shine through versus party tricks, whatever's going on here.
Exactly, because yeah, if I made this for you, if I made this for you, right, you'd absolutely love it, and the way
Yes.
I make it, and the way that I finish it, and your first mouthful, you just get this zingy, sweet, creamy, rich, decadent pastry, and the filling and it's like a marriage, and you've got this super beautiful pastry, a really wonderful
Mhm.
filling, a, a little bit of icing sugar, blowtorch. So you've got this creme brulee top. So you've
Mm.
got that crack. You hit it with your spoon. You've got that crack, and it's just a wonderful combination. You don't need anything else. But I guarantee you, if I served what we're looking at, the very first thing that you'd do is you'd
Mhm.
pick up those skanky lemons, you'd
Yeah.
slide them to the side of your plate,
Mhm.
and then you'd kind of it's not something that's appetizing.
No.
You couldn't serve that to me anywhere, and me look forward to put it in my mouth.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Oh. No.
And then we're there with a mint again, aren't we?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, so that appears to be mint, how I understand it as well.
But
Again, two
it
things
looks
that
dead,
elevates
right?
it.
It
It
looks dead.
does!
Can you get into that and zoom in a little
Yeah,
bit?
please, yeah, one side, let's see,
It looks like it's been it looks wilted. Mint. It look how dark it is. It's so,
yeah,
but it looks dead. It looks like it's been sat on the countertop for a couple of hours.
it does. Let me see, I
If
can try to zoom in more if that will help, yeah.
if this would have been something that we'd just picked, it wouldn't look like that. It wouldn't be so flat. It'd have a little bit more life about
It'd
it.
have some life, it'd
You
have some curl, yeah, absolutely, some
you
color.
might leave a little bit of the stem on, and you might just poke it into the lemon tart just so that it
Mhm.
stands up a little bit, so
Yeah.
it looks pretty.
Yeah, I can't make sense out of this. I've got the picture, I'm sending it right now, we can pull it up and take a look. I really it just seems like this seems like the most half-assed thing she's done outside of that quiche. I can't I don't know.
I just don't. If
It's not adding
we're
anything.
in this thing where she's posting things, isn't she, on a regular basis, and
Yes.
she's trying to start this career about how passionate she is about food,
Yes.
and how it's her way of showing love. But then she doesn't seem to have any. She doesn't seem to have any want or desire to learn. She seems to jump from, I'm going to make this today, I'm going to make this today, I'm going to make
Yeah.
this today, but there's
Mhm.
no research, or there's like, it's trial and error, right?
Yeah, I think
And
so. No respect for the ingredients, no respect for yeah, the
yeah, but
person eating it. Yeah.
one of the things that I touched on in one of the conversations that we had
Mhm.
is it's the development, isn't it? Because I think you asked me a question a while ago about what's my favorite thing to cook, and I said I don't have a favorite thing to cook, but what I do is I'll concentrate on specific things, and I'll make them, and it's trial and error, and I might make something 6 or 7 times, maybe 10 times, but it's the perfection of the recipe. And
Mhm.
that's everything that a chef goes through, everything that I go through on a daily basis of this, for my customers, the people that enjoy my food, the people that come to dine in my restaurant. All of the guessing and all of the practice is done before you even know it's on the menu. And when
Mhm.
it does get to the menu point where I'm happy for you to eat it, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Because when people come to eat your food, it's like you're putting your soul on a menu, you're putting your soul on a plate. And when you look into that dining room, the only thing you want to see is happy smiles and happy faces. And it gives you so much joy to.
Mhm.
It's like today, I've had a very busy day. We've done hundreds and hundreds of customers, but
Mhm.
every single customer that's dined in my restaurant has been extremely happy with the food, and that makes me proud. And you, after a very long day of, it's been hot, it's been stressful, after a very long day, you take your apron off and you pack it away in your rucksack, and you put your rucksack on your shoulder, and as you
Mhm.
walk into your car, you feel a sense of pride, and you feel like you've achieved something.
And you have. It's left an impact with people, and they've enjoyed it, and you've made their Mother's Day more special, and I mean, a lot of people can't afford to go out too much, so they save it for special occasions. This is a big deal, and you took it seriously, and you respected their time and their wallets and stuff,
the,
by
these
making the best thing. Uh-huh.
these are all things that I take into consideration with everything that I do, because the like, everybody's finances are being affected so much that that dining out has now turned back into being a luxury.
Right.
Dining out 20 years ago,
Mm.
it was a luxury. It's like when I was growing up, the only time we ever went out was for a special occasion.
Yeah,
Whereas,
same. Mhm,
in more recent years, it
mhm.
became where it was just a thing that we did, and it was a trend. Whereas
Yep.
things are going back to how they used to be. So
Right.
everything that you do, you've got to be respectful of it, and you've got
Mhm.
to, you know that especially on days like Mother's Day, you know that if you're not on point and you're not at your best, that's gonna
Mhm.
you don't. The last thing I ever want to do is to send a mum home disappointed on Mother's Day,
That's
because
true.
it's my reputation, and it's what brings me joy.
Aw, that's lovely. And people that's one of my favorite compliments that people give about you is how much care and consideration you put into everything, it sounds like, especially, in regard to your cooking and your food and your thoughtfulness behind it. And your love for it shines through. And I think that's why people naturally gravitate toward you and enjoy hearing you discuss the food. And that's exactly what's missing from Meghan. I
I,
don't believe she's capable of thinking about anything but herself. That's my opinion. What were you gonna say?
I think that's why I enjoy talking to you so much, because like
Mhm,
you guys all seem to appreciate it, where everybody else that I
mhm.
know just think I'm weird.
Oh, no. Well, I can think both. I think you're weird. No, I'm kidding. No, not at all. I think it shines through in the way you talk about food. Again, I think it's so interesting to hear you talk about it. I just don't have that, feeling about, cooking and stuff, so I love to hear you talk about it and the thought process behind it and learn from you. And again, that's exactly what should have been there and is completely missing from Megan. Now, I did get this. Here's the close up of the mint, and
Yeah,
it just
there's no life in that mint. That
no.
mint is dead.
It
Like that. The only
Yeah.
place that needed to go was the compost heap.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, and
With
that's
the
questionable if she even has that. That's right.
with the
The
lemons,
compost.
with the lemons,
That's right.
like, I mean, it happens. Yeah, like today, for instance, with what I was doing, and this is a very very good thing for what we're looking at. But you've got to realize when you do something that if it's not right, you don't use it. It doesn't go on the
Yeah.
plate. Now, I
Mhm.
designed a dish today, and one of the garnishes was a crispy sage leaf.
Okay.
Crispy sage at this time of year is absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
Now, I got one of the guys to make it. He brought it up to the pass, and the color of it just wasn't right. But then
Oh,
I tasted it, and it was bitter. And I
oh,
just said, like, when it's off, we're not using it.
mhm.
We're not putting substandard things on something that is just, you can't put so much effort into a dish and spoil it with a garnish.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's what people remember. You
Exactly.
may have worked your face off on the entire dish, but that one weird bite, and it's like, that just was kinda weird, whatever, so
But that one weird bite has
Mhm.
spoiled every bite after it,
You're
because
right.
you can't cleanse your palate.
Mhm. You're exactly right, yep. I see this, and to me, it actually looks like do you like cakes when you're a kid, when they're just pre-frosted and they have, like, the red icing roses and then the dark green leaves drawn on? That's what it looks like to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
red dye and green dye, out of a can, I don't know.
If you were seriously passionate about baking, and it was something that your heart desired,
Uh-huh,
especially with Meghan's wealth and with her status, there'd
uh-huh,
be so many people that could teach how to do this, and so many
yeah,
people that if she'd allow them to show her.
mhm. Yeah, well, that's an ongoing thing. I don't expect you to know, but like we talk about that with her fashion. If she would just listen to somebody, she might get things a little more right more often, but I don't think she's capable. I don't. Um,
Those lemons, they just look so
oh,
wrong. They
they
look
look
so wrong.
so wrong. And then even the spacing is so weird to me.
But you just that kind of sliced lemon on something like that, like,
Yeah.
so the outside of the lemon, where the yellow is, that's the
Yeah.
zest, but where the zing comes from.
Okay.
The white pith is
Uh-huh.
horrible. It's
Okay.
horrible. your
Uh-huh.
your belly your bellies can't digest them.
Mhm.
Like, it'll give you a bit of an upset stomach if you eat too much of it, but it's
Mhm.
just horrible. But then you look at the actual lemon itself, the little segments. You can see the color of them, and they look old. They look
They do.
nasty.
They really do. It's like they used it to cook something else, and they just had these leftover lemon parts, and they're just
Yeah.
like, "All right, slap it on this cake."
But what we could have done is we could have used the lemon zest. We could have microplaned it into the lemon tart, so the lemon tart had a little bit of texture, you know, the actual filling. And then
Yeah.
we could have taken a paring knife. We could have removed all of the pith by going round the lemon on the outside, so that you've only got the actual lemon itself. And then
Mhm,
we could have cut that lemon into segments, so that
mhm.
all of that pith is removed, and then you could arrange them in nice little rows, and it would have looked very elegant and it would have looked very pretty. But we've not. It's almost lazy, isn't it? But it looks like
That's it.
all of the. It looks like the mint, the lemon, the
Mhm.
strawberry. It looks like we've pre-made it
Yeah.
so that it was ready to use.
Yep. I
But
think so too.
we've probably put it onto the lemon tart while it was still warm, which has
Uh-huh.
killed. It's killed the mint. It's killed the lemon, and that
Oh.
strawberry is a bit gooky.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's the heat or just because she made a rose out of a strawberry.
You just wouldn't you? Like,
No, you
uh,
just wouldn't.
you, we ought to be grateful that there's no preserve on it. You could imagine there just being a big
Yeah,
dollop of preserve in the middle of it.
that is very true. Or the whipped cream like the, waffle,
Oh
the hair.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I'm surprised she didn't put whipped cream to cover the burnt part, now that I think about it.
that
That's weird.
that might be an after that what after the picture that we're looking at when she comes to serve it, that squirty cream might have come out again.
Yeah, there you go. Any other thoughts on this? I guess my question is, so if we make this at home, and ours comes out like this, do I do I just use some sort of ring and cut and try to salvage the middle part? Is that the best thing to do? I know you would never serve this, but I'm saying if I did this at my house for my Gosling.
So if you did this at home,
Uh-huh.
what you would do
Uh-huh.
is you'd get your flan case, you'd
Okay.
put your pastry in, but you wouldn't trim that pastry. So
Uh-huh.
you'd have maybe over the rim. You
Uh-huh.
just leave the pastry as it is. You'd let it overhang
Uh-huh.
the sides of the flan case, and then
Okay.
you'd put your greaseproof paper in. You'd put your baking beans in, and you'd bake it at a low temperature with no color. Once
Uh-huh.
it came out of the oven and it cooled, you'd remove your baking beans, and then that would be the time to trim that edge with a sharp knife. So you
Okay.
get this beautiful, flat, straight edge. And that's
Mhm.
the perfect way to 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 do it,
Okay.
where you've not got any bumps, you've not got any dark spots, you've got the perfect flat edge that's clean and it's crisp.
Okay. Yeah, that
and
sounds
then
good.
and then you take it back to the oven and you pour the filling while the case is sat on the rack of the oven door, because
Uh-huh.
once that filling's in there, you need to move it as little as possible.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So that
And
way it's
then
like uh-huh.
that's the way I do it. But then
Yeah.
another little trick that I do is,
Uh-huh.
when like I so say for instance that's in the oven for like 16 minutes.
Uh-huh.
What I sometimes do, I do this when I do individual ones, is I might put the timer on, and I might put the time. I want them in the oven for 12 minutes, but I might
Mhm.
put the timer on for 8 minutes. But then when the timer for 8 minutes goes off, I turn my oven off. I don't open the oven door, and then I give it in the oven with no more generated heat, only residual heat. I'll
Mhm.
leave it for another 4 minutes, and then I'll take it out of the oven. And
Okay.
that's a very safe, nice way of ensuring the cooking process is correct.
That's perfect. Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's yeah, that makes so much more sense than whatever's going on here. And for some reason, if somebody pulled theirs out of the oven and it accidentally looks like this, is there any salvaging it? Again, would you trim you
You
just
tr- you'd
cut
have
that off?
you trim the edge.
Uh-huh.
You could potentially, I mean, this is worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Potentially what you would do is, you would trim the edge, You might get you might boil your kettle, um, hot water in a cup or whatever you choose to put it in, and then you get a couple of spoons. Get the
Uh-huh.
spoons super hot, and then with the back of the spoon, you'd run it round the filling, and you'd almost remelt these air pockets and these
Okay.
voids that you've got.
Uh-huh.
So a light bit of heat just run over the top of it would
Uh-huh.
smooth that surface out.
Oh,
Or
I didn't know that. That's cool.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it works really, really well.
That's cool.
Um, there's things like that that we do. I mean,
Mhm.
even like when this we might get the blowtorch on it every now and again, just so
Mhm.
it brings a new lease of life into it. You almost get
Yeah.
that that sheen that you want, because things like this should almost have a little gloss on them. So
Yeah.
just before we're serving them, if we was going to serve them like this and we wasn't going to brulee the tops,
Uh-huh.
we would just flash a blowtorch over it, so you're getting super super hot heat
Uh-huh.
in a second 2 second burst, but then
Mhm.
you'll see this sheen and you'll see this gloss, and you
Uh,
but when it goes out, it looks pretty.
yeah, absolutely. Again, putting more thoughtful details into it than just throwing some half-eaten lemons on top.
Yeah, but
Some pre-chewed up lemons, yeah.
what are you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that?
That's
That, that
exactly
you
my question.
you was 100% right at the start of this when you said
Mhm.
it looks like something that you've left in a water glass, and
Mhm.
you know everywhere wherever you go, you order certain drinks and they automatically throw the lemon in, and it's there for flavor. It's only
Mhm.
there for flavor. But I don't know many people that would take that lemon and go, oh, that's great, I'm going to eat it, because there's nothing to eat.
Exactly. You're exactly right. There's just nothing, and I love lemon. I have eaten lemon like a weirdo. That's not it. That again, that looks like somebody's already been at it.
Yeah, yeah. We're just recycling it. We're just
That's right,
recycling it.
exactly.
Like,
"Hey, look, she is
this,
composting
this,
it."
this is from the night before. These are the drinks that we had from the night before. And we just thought it was wasteful if we didn't.
That's right. She's claiming to be an eco warrior. This is her, demonstrating that. I don't know.
You'd be so disappointed, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if that was served to you, you'd be so disappointed.
Yeah, I would, and I'd be like, "Why is it burnt?"
I use very very little garnish in the job that I
Mhm.
do, and in my career as a whole. But you
Well, that
look,
makes sense. Yeah, you don't have to
you
rely on that.
no, but you look and you go, if you were going to use garnish, it needs to be
Mhm.
minimum. It doesn't,
Yeah.
and it needs to be something that's edible. And
Mhm.
it's like, everything that is on that plate should be for the intention to be eaten.
That's what I think too. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think I'm not a cook, but I do art and painting. So you have to think about thoughtful details and presentation. And I just feel like it's just like, do I need to add to this painting or is it done? And I just don't. I don't know.
There's
I
a
don't know.
there's a great quote that I heard years and years ago,
Mhm.
and it was like, nature's the greatest creator, be- but then the chef is the artist, because
Oh.
like, when you think about it, and it's resonated throughout my career, because nature has provided us with all these amazing things, and you've got the bees and the honey, and you've got all of the, like lemon trees and olive trees.
Mhm.
You've got all these things that come into season and go out of season, and it's like a gift to us, isn't it? Because the
Yeah.
world is providing us with all of these amazing things, and as a
Right.
chef, all we can do is almost pay our respects by creating, and by being able to be an artist. So you
Mhm.
create these dishes by being inspired by things that you've seen, and things that you want to experiment with. And then I think it means so much to me when you think about the way that you come into a new season, and you suddenly get excited about strawberries, and your creative brain goes on, and you think, I'm going to do this, and sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it's an absolute hit.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Yeah, for sure. But I think part of it sounds like it's being confident enough and mature enough to understand if it doesn't work, then you don't do it. You just lose it. Like you said, the dish that you didn't, or the garnish that you didn't serve because it just would have
It's just
taken
not right.
away.
It's just not
Yeah, it's
right,
not
and
right.
it's your reputation, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it's like that. This is one of the things, because my reputation is nowhere near like Meghan Markle's reputation,
Mhm.
and it's like
Thank God for
yeah,
that.
but you look
I
and you
don't.
go, if you
Uh-huh.
if you've decided, you've probably decided a couple of days ago, on Mother's Day you're going to do a lemon tart, and you've
Uh-huh.
probably decided how you're going to make it and all the rest of it. You've at some point gone to the shop and bought the ingredients in order to do it. Eve, but to post it and to show it, you'd look and you'd go, I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use those lemons because they're not right. I'm not going to use this lemon tart is enough. I don't need to use that mint because it's
Uh-huh.
wilted.
You're
And but
exactly right. Uh-huh.
we just keep just plodding along, don't we? It's like, because we've told somebody we're going to do it, and because we thought we're going to do it, regardless of the consequence, regardless of what the end result is, the end result doesn't ever seem to be important. It's
Now I've just Googled it and found this lemon tart. Does this look
yeah, I mean
so
that
much better?
that's amazing, isn't it? And
Uh-huh.
this is meringue. This is
Oh, okay.
meringue.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So
With the
with
uh-huh.
things like this,
Uh-huh.
there's different variants of meringue. So you've got like an Italian meringue, and then you've got like the French meringue. This would probably be a French meringue.
Uh-huh. I just was looking at the crust and the presentation. I'd much rather eat this.
But this you remember when I was saying that you'd leave a lip of pastry over the
Yes.
sides, and
Uh-huh.
then you trim that pastry. This
Uh-huh.
has been trimmed. Can you see
It's
how flat it is all the way around?
beautiful.
It's
Yes.
so elegant and so
Mhm.
perfect. That's clearly been trimmed.
Yep.
If you zoomed in, you should be able to see little pockets of air where the butter's melted through the pastry, and
Uh-huh.
so that's how you get this beautiful buttery pastry
Mhm.
that kind of flakes a little bit, but still firm enough to hold the structure.
Yeah. Oh, looks delicious. Yeah, I see that and I think, okay, that's thoughtful details. Well done. Looks delicious. I want to eat that. Yeah.
But look how uniformed it is. Look how like all
Mhm.
those meringue, each little nest of meringue, it's so
Mhm.
uniformed and it's so elegant. And you've got these peaks, and they're like little
Mhm.
mountain peaks, aren't there? And
Yeah.
and then you just finish that ever so slightly. You just flame it up, so it just starts to scorch the top of it, and
Mhm.
it's so pretty. But can you see the gloss on that lemon tart in the
I
center? You can
can.
see,
Yes.
you can almost, it's almost like
Reflective.
a mirror, and
Yes.
the meringue in the back, you can almost see the shadow on the
Yep.
gloss coming down, and that's
Absolutely.
that perfect. That's what I was
Mhm.
saying. You kind of undercook it. You
Mhm.
you let it finish in its own heat, so that you're not getting that curdling, you're not getting that scrambled mix, and
Yeah.
then you just, or the blown torched it, which is just giving it a really elegant sheen just before the
Mhm.
picture.
Yep, I think so.
See,
That looks delicious.
it's food like this that makes me happy, because
Yes. Uh-huh.
there's so much skill, and it's
Yeah.
like food porn.
Mhm.
It's like this is my my happy place. This is
Yes.
what brings me joy and happiness, because there's somebody out there that knows what they're doing, and
You're exactly right.
that
Uh-huh.
wants to showcase. Look at
Mhm.
this.
Yes. And they took care and they thought out what they did and no useless things on the plate. This is perfection.
Yeah.
I want to
That would
eat.
be a joy to eat. That would be a joy to
Yes.
eat. If we
It
ever
w
meet up and we go for a coffee, that
Yes.
like we'll share one. We'll share a slice of lemon tart.
Again, that's my nickname, but okay. Lemon Tart is happy to share Lemon Tart.
Well, if that's your nickname, we're not going to a coffee shop.
Oh, that's good. Well, Chef Matt, any other thoughts on this as we wrap up? I just appreciate your time so much. I truly do.
No, I think that's enough. But I mean that's such a happy way to end this, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
that's
there's
kinda what I thought, yeah.
there's so many beautiful elements to that just brings me joy, and it's like
Uh-huh.
it just
I'm sorry to do it to you, but just look at the difference. Yeah.
no.
I know. We'll go back, I promise, but just
We've
look at the
gone. It's
difference.
like Chef Matt's happy. Chef
That's
Matt's sad.
right.
Chef Matt's happy. It's
That's
like
right. And I'm not even again, I'm no Meghan fan, but I'm not picking just to pick. I understand that there's a difference because as somebody who doesn't cook, I do like to bake, but I understand there's a difference between home and professional, such as yourself, but just I wouldn't post this. That's my overall. I would not
no.
post that. And if I did, I would spin the plate to the not burned bits and I would lose the half-eaten lemons and the stupid
If
garnishes.
if 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 I if I was at home and I was
Mhm.
going to produce this, say for instance, if this was
Mhm.
her favorite dessert, and I
Yeah.
decided as a Mother's Day treat I was going to make it for her, if I served this to her, it would break my heart.
Hers and
It
yours.
would,
Yeah.
yeah, it would destroy my soul. But
Mhm.
if I was going to do this at home and I was going to post it on social media,
Mhm.
I'd look at it and I'd say this isn't right, but
Yeah.
I'm going to salvage and do the very
Mhm.
very best that I can with it.
Yes.
And what I would probably do is I would pick the bit that's got the least amount of burnt crust,
Yeah.
and I would maybe take a really nice elegant slice, and I
Uh-huh.
would I would picture the slice, and
Yeah.
I would take the bit that's got the least amount of burn on it, the least amount of scramble on it,
Mhm.
and I'd do a very elegant slice. And I
Yeah.
mean, this would be perfect if we made some like a really zingy lemon ricotta, and we just did a little quenelle where you just got this beautiful quenelle just sat on the corner, dredge it with
Mhm.
a little bit of icing sugar, and it would be so beautiful. And then we'd be looking at you go, do you know what? She's actually surprised me now, and she's
Yeah.
actually produced something, and I'm almost proud of her that
Yeah.
perseverance does pay off eventually.
Sure. Yeah,
But
absolutely, but
ig-
that is
but you
not the case.
but the trouble is you can't do anything with ignorance,
Uh-huh.
and that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Stubbornness, unwillingness to learn from people
Well,
around you, just
I,
common themes,
I
yeah.
feel like we're almost at that stage where we care less about the end result. We care
Mhm.
more about just being able to post something on a regular basis to keep you in other people's minds.
I think you're exactly spot on. Now, we do not have to get into this, but on a side note, I don't expect you to keep up with this, but, there's a lot going on with Harry and Meghan and this, Sintobale, this African charity situation, and it's not good, and so I expected that she would, pardon the pun, scramble today and try to post something like this. Who knew? Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's why she burned it to shit to get people to stop talking about, this whole scandal with what's going on with the two of them. So maybe she burned it to shit to get people to stop talking about it, to look over here. Because if it was perfectly made, maybe they would still, they still are going to talk about Sentibale, but
If it is a deflection tactic so that she
Mhm.
can kind of try and protect Harry in some way, then
Uh-huh. I
there's
think it's
better way.
protecting herself, not him.
But
Yeah.
there's better ways of doing it, isn't there? There's better
Yes.
ways of doing it. But you're looking, you go like this is supposed to be some sort of family tradition. So
Yes.
if this is some sort of family tradition, surely in the course of this family tradition, you'd execute it properly, or like as a
Yeah.
like there's people that have got all these amazing family traditions, and they do it
Mhm.
every single year on a year, and
Absolutely.
every single year, and before you know it, you can almost do it with your eyes closed. You can do it without thinking about it, because and every single time it's so perfect because you've grown up with this tradition. So
That's
you've
exactly
from
it.
from being a child to being an adult, you've grown up,
Mhm.
and this tradition you almost look forward to, and everybody looks forward
Mhm.
to it. But it's that tradition, it's what holds you all together, and it's what all it gives you purpose on that day, and it's an expectation that then develops. And if 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 this was a family tradition in my house,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I kept serving this, in my house, this wouldn't be called a tradition. This
It'd
would
be
be called a
called
fuck up.
Chef. Yeah, Chef Matt sleeps on the couch. Yeah,
Yeah. Chef Matt's having a bad day.
yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, and I'll tell. I didn't want to drag you into it, but that's something I want to talk about separately. But what family are we talking about? They're estranged on both sides. So, what
Well,
family?
maybe that's why they're estranged.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because Meghan keeps trying to cook.
That's exactly.
It's driving people away.
That's right. Megan's more interested in having her hands in the shot to prove that it's Megan than anything else. I think she just doesn't give a crap about what's on the plate.
No, and then there's like a little baby hand in the bottom corner, isn't there?
Is that what that is? I thought it
I
was her
think that's like
thumb weirdly placed.
on the
It's a
left
baby
hand
hand.
side. I think that's a little baby hand.
You're right. This whole time I thought she was just
Yeah.
gripping the plate
No.
weird. It was a weird
So
perspective.
I think we've got Megan's hand on the right, and then I think we've got a baby thumb on
You're
the
right.
left.
So then I can answer to this. Then what she's doing is it's a tradition, of course. I'm explaining Mother's Day back to you for in the UK, but that of course the royal family usually posts something about Mother's Day. Usually we get a picture of the children. At the time of this recording, we did not. It was about, I believe, it was about celebrating Mother Earth is the post this year. But regardless, a beautiful post from Prince and Princess of Wales account on Twitter, probably Instagram as well. But so my assumption is, my educated guess is she had to do some sort of look at me, because always trying to upstage. But this is not it.
We might be really overthinking this, because we're looking at like a family tradition, and we're thinking about her family. But what we might be looking at is a new tradition that she's just started this year, and that's why it's shit.
Maybe.
Like, this might be for her family, because we've got a very small thumb on the left hand side now, haven't we? So if you go, we've got a very small thumb on the left hand side. This might be a tradition that we've only been doing this year.
Yeah.
It's like all being well. If I get a lot of likes on this video, I'm going to do this next year.
That's right. But then you can't call it a tradition. That does not a tradition make.
No.
That's not a tradition. Yeah, I can't make sense of that. The only other thing is, if it is, I didn't even think about it. You're right. If it's a baby hand, which it does seem to be that, it's just a way to say I'm a mother as a mother without, actual mothering stuff. So, wow. And then let me ask you, do you guys call it Mothering Sunday? I've never heard that. Is that what it's called in the UK?
Yeah, Mothering Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you do call it Mothering Sunday. Okay. I'd never heard that. So, Mothering Sunday it is. So she's going for the UK tie-in. She's going for, but again, it's not, I would understand if it was a Father's Day reference, because Harry, of course, being from the UK, obviously, but it has nothing to do with her. So her mother's not from the UK. She's not from the UK. She clearly has a tumultuous relationship there. So yeah, it's just more look at me.
It's just, I don't get it. It's almost like it's a new tradition, isn't it? Or it's for her family, her new family.
Yeah.
But like, if as a Father's Day thing, you definitely don't want that, do you? Definitely don't want that.
Well, as a Mother's Day either, no, it doesn't make sense. But again, I think you're thinking way too logically, and I don't think logic and reason play a part into this whatsoever.
No.
Not at all. But Chef Matt, thank you so much for your time and for once again coming on and explaining this to us. We appreciate it so much. We look forward to when you open up your pop-up restaurant called Burnt Lemons. Garbage. We call it Burnt Lemons and garbage on a plate.
The thing is, if I called a restaurant that, everybody would think it was just a titty bar, wouldn't they?
Is that called Burnt Lemons?
Yeah. I'd be there, and I'd put my heart and soul into this, like this amazing food, and then you just get all these yobbos turning up and expecting these tits to be everywhere. You just be like, that's not what it is. That's what it is. Like my friend Jen told me to call it this. I don't understand what's happening.
The French tart should be around here
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. It's like catering sabotage, isn't it? You call your restaurant Burnt Lemons.
So then I have to. Is that UK slang for boobs, or is it just what popped in your head?
I think I've just popped. That's just popped into my head.
So guys, if you're if you will, leave in the comments if you heard of a restaurant called Burnt Lemons, would you automatically think it was, I don't think they can write tits in the comments. How about Booby Bar, or or would it be Chef Matt's new dessert place? Let us know. And would you eat at a place called Burnt Lemons? Let us know. But yeah, Chef Matt, I would call it burnt lemons and shit on a plate.
I don't think you're going to get me something. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get me very busy, are you?
I don't think so. Again, yeah, no, I don't think so.
Come and eat some shit.
That's I do that on a daily basis. What? Oh my gosh. Chef Matt, it's always a pleasure to have you. This is where I'd normally ask, how do we support you? We can't do that. So
I really enjoy just reading the comments afterwards.
Oh, good.
It makes me happy.
Maybe guys, wrong answers only. Leave Chef Matt some suggestions on what he should name his channel and restaurant. I think that would be good.
And then we should do it where it's like, what should we critique next?
Yes, that's a good one. Yeah, what would you guys like to see critique next? Would you like to see now, Chef Matt? There's one I've been holding on to that I'd really like to go over with you if you're up for it sometime. Where Meghan calls toast daunting. Dun, dun,
we should definitely do daunting toast. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I think you'd have a lot to say about it.
I'd quite like to do the one where it was Drew.
Oh yes, Drew Barrymore. Yes.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. Yes.
We did the fingerprint cookies. Like, I mean,
Yes.
what a car crash that was. I watched that, and then I watched it, and then I watched it, and I watched it, and I watched it like 4 times, and I've embedded it into my brain. So anytime you're ready, I'm scarred.
Careful what you're wishing for, Burnt Lemons. It's a date.
Because it just baffled me. It baffled me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'd love to, because not only that, she had the Instagram video of her making them too, with the thumbs and the hair and all
the hair, the thumbs. But did you see, like, the cookie was so crumbly, and it was so crumbly, and then she said something like, oh, it's okay if it's crumbly, but then she was like compacting it in the palms of her hands to try and shape it, and I was just like, no, stop, please stop.
That's right.
And then the preserve came out again, and I was like, you couldn't write it if you tried. If you had to guess what a thumbprint cookie was, that wouldn't have been my first guess.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'd love to, though. Yes, count me in anytime, Chef Matt. Guys, let us know in the comments your thoughts, and tell Chef Matt how bad we want him to come back, and we'll definitely have him back again soon. You know, she's going to post something in like an hour and a half from now, and I'll be bugging you guys. So.
Right, okay.
I appreciate it so much. Thanks for coming by, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. And guys, look for Chef Matt here in a couple of days. I'll be posting the green waffles of it all, so check back for that. And Chef Matt, we wish you all the best, and thank you for not serving crap like this in your restaurant. We appreciate that.
My pleasure. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. A huge thank you to Chef Matt for being so wonderful. I appreciate you. I really do. Isn't he lovely? He really is. I love when he gets passionate about the cooking and the food, and you can just tell his heart and soul are in that. And he's a really cool guy. I dig his sense of humor too. A lot of fun. Such a nice guy. His whole family's like that. They're fantastic people. So thank you, Chef Matt, for your time. And I look forward to working with him very soon. And if you guys want to see his YouTube channel, or you want to play around with naming it or anything, or if you have questions for him or comments, please leave those in the comments. So like I say, we'll get those to him. Monday, look for a live chat from me. Again, we'll aim for 4 p.m. Eastern. If something changes, I'll let you know, but 4 p.m. Eastern. And John Witherspoon hopefully will be able to join us and jump on, and we'll talk Cintabale and whatever else breaking news is going on. What else? Just a huge thank you from me to you, and a happy Mother's Day to every geese and gosling and gander, everybody that's celebrating Mother's Day and Mothering Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. I appreciate you all so much. I really appreciate my Patreon peeps. This is the part where I want to say thank you so much to my executive geese and ganders. You guys are the wind beneath my goosey wings. I appreciate you all so much. If you want to further support the show, you know how to do it. Check out the merch. We got Everything's Fine. Everything's fine. Some of you guys have been sending me pictures drinking out of the mugs. I appreciate that so much. I love seeing it. Post it on social media. Tag me in it. I love seeing it. I really do feel pride in that Everything's Fine stuff because it just turned out so much better than I could have expected. So if you haven't seen it, check out the Everything's Fine collection. Still have Team Catherine stuff. We have Drunk Goose Club, you name it, we've got to check that out. Thank you so much for your support there. But again, if you want to further support, check out Patreon. Patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. That's where you can get my bonus episodes, deep dives. That's where you can become an executive producer like the lovely geese and ganders you see on the screen before you. And a huge thank you to all who support. I appreciate you so much, guys. That's going to do it for me. A huge thank you to Chef Matt for your time, for your awesomeness. Thank you to John Witherspoon for your contribution to this. And thank you to my behind-the-scene friends who always help out so much. You know who you are, and I appreciate you so very much. Thank you guys for everything. I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. And I will talk to you all again very soon. Take care of yourselves. Stay healthy. Honk, honk, everyone. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. I'm mother of geese. If you missed it, a friend of mine had said, because I went very blonde now, all of a sudden, I said, oh my gosh, I'm accidentally Game of Thrones and my mother of dragons. She said, no, you're mother of geese. And I was like, mother of geese. That's good. That's really good. I should have made my name that. Thank you guys for being here. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Honk, honk. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, I love the goslings. They're so cute.